What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
You obviously do not know who you are fucking with!
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video. Before we get started, I wanted to thank xbot448 for inviting me out yesterday to appear on his podcast, Next Podcast. I really appreciate you giving a small guy like me a chance to come and hang out with you guys for 2.5 hours and just bullshit about gaming. And I had a lot of fun, man. And I also want to thank the rest of the panel, all you guys, Mooch, Crispy, Nox, Predator, Goldblum. Thank you for treating me like a peer and an equal, instead of the guy that only had like 140-something subs last month like I am. Like I said, I had a blast, and hopefully I'll get a chance to do it again soon. With that out of the way, let's get into this video. The reason I'm making this video is actually because of the podcast. There were some comments I saw being made by people during the podcast, which are comments I also see a lot in the comment section of my videos. And it's just something that I feel like I need to educate some people about. And the comments usually go something like this. Bro, Mark Cerny has no idea what he's talking about, bro. He's such a liar. He's just a snake oil salesman, man. Fucking snake oil salesman. And just like the intro, it is clear to me that you guys do not know who you are fucking with. So I'm going to explain to you exactly who you are fucking with. Because contrary to what you may believe, Mark Cerny is actually one of the most respected and impressive people in all of gaming. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and allow me to explain to you who Mark Cerny is and why when he speaks, you should listen. Mark Cerny grew up in San Francisco, where he attended University of California, Berkeley. At 17, he was invited to join Atari. At 17. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in my high school, most people graduated at 18. So not only was this dude in college at 17, he was invited to leave and work for Atari at 17. And that's exactly what he did. He dropped out and went to work for Atari. In 1982, at only 18, he was the designer and co-programmer of the wildly successful arcade Marble Madness. Towards the end of the 80s, he left Atari to go work for Sega, first in their Japan headquarters and then back in the United States. In 1991, he helped establish the Sega Technical Institute, which was a studio designed to help combine Japanese and American talents. There he worked on lots of Master System and Genesis games, including Sonic the Hedgehog 2. In 1992, he left Sega for Crystal Dynamics, and after meeting with Shuhei Yoshida, a then young Sony executive in Japan, he was able to negotiate a deal for Crystal Dynamics to be the first American developer to snag a PlayStation development kit. From 1994 to 1998, he was part of Universal Interactive Studios. There he hired two small development teams to create games for PlayStation. They were Naughty Dog and Insomniac Games. Mark Cerny was involved in preparing both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. In 1999, Cerny was contacted by Shuhei Yoshida about developing a graphics engine for the now under development PlayStation 2. Cerny accepted and was the first American to work on PlayStation 2. After the completion of the engine, he would then help Naughty Dog and Insomniac work on their next games, Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, and Ratchet and Clank. During this time, Cerny developed his method approach to game development. This has since become a standard practice in the video game development industry. During the PS3 era, Cerny continued to assist Naughty Dog and Insomniac with their games. This included Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Resistance Fall of Man, and Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. He also worked on some other first-party titles, including God of War 3 and Killzone 3. Now, the cell processor in the PlayStation 3 was incredibly difficult to develop for, and Mark Cerny, being both a game developer and someone who actually developed games for PlayStation 3, knew this all too well, and decided to research the history of x86 architecture. He then approached Shuhei Yoshida and requested to be the lead designer on PlayStation 4, using what he had learned from his research on x86 architecture to make sure their next generation console would be incredibly developer friendly. 110 million consoles later, and I think we know how that went. And for obvious reasons, we're talking about Mark Cerny now, because he's also the lead designer and architect of PlayStation 5. In 2004, the International Game Developers Association gave Mark Cerny the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Game Developer Choice Awards. The IGDA said, "It's rare to find a jack of all trades, who not only has the high-level vision for great game design, but can act as the glue to adhere all the pieces together. His unusual but highly effective methodology has brought us some of the most entertaining games in history. He was also described as a master collaborator. In 2010, at the 13th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, Mark Cerny was inducted into the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame. Joseph Olin, then president of AIAS, said, "Mark Cerny is the closest we have come to a modern-day Da Vinci. What he does isn't restricted to a single aspect of game creation. He really is a Renaissance man. He is a diversely accomplished game designer, producer, programmer, and technologist, fluent in Japanese, and one of the foremost Western experts on the Japanese game market. He's also one of the only top-level independents in a business dominated by institutions." Some of the other individuals who were lucky enough to win this award include Shigeru Miyamoto, Peter Molyneux, Tim Sweeney, Hideo Kojima, and Todd Howard, just to name a few. Here's a list of his more significant credits. Now, having covered all of that, Mark Cerny can either be a lying piece of shit snake oil salesman who has no idea what he's doing, or he can be one of the most respected and impressive people in all of gaming. I'll give you idiots a minute to figure it out. Well, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next Supernova.